Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys the best strategy to win in season 2 of the cycle. So in this video, I'm mainly going to be going over how to win in map 2, but let me know if you guys want me to make a video on map 1 because I know that these maps do rotate during season 2. But let's go ahead and get right into the tips. So my first tip that I have is during the beginning of the game, you're going to want to kill any mobs you can see. The whole goal of killing all the mobs is to get your credits up as much as possible so you're able to upgrade your weapon and loadout before people come and push you to try to PvP, because you don't want to be taking those fights with your starter pistol. It's preferable that you would have like a 500 credit weapon, or even just an SMG would do the trick, because if people are pushing you with pistol versus pistol, it's harder to beat them. It's mainly like a coin flip, and it's 50-50 unless you're good with getting to know your pistol and shooting with it, which is something that you guys should really be working on, but it's just going to help you a ton more if you have that upgraded weapon. Going along with that tip, I also have checking credit spawns. This is for the same goal, just to upgrade your weapon with more credits, because that can definitely help get your credit balance up a ton, just going around checking the credit spawns that you know. And the more you play the game, the more you're going to figure out these credit spawns. Just be sure that you're keeping aware of your surroundings, and you can even listen to the audio cue that plays whenever you're nearby. You're going to like hear this loud pitch, I think it is, sound, and that's how you're going to tell credits are there. So next time you're near credits and you can hear this sound, be sure to remember the sound so that you can look in the rest of the match and even games in the future. Moving on to our next tip, we have completing contracts that yield credits. I'm pretty sure you guys can guess what the whole goal for that is, but some of these contracts are drones and drone launch and Velocite. And the reason I chose these was drones. Once you collect 3 of them at a certain spot in duos and solos, you're able to launch the drone, and when you launch the drone, a ton of mobs show up, so you're able to farm these up and get more credits even quicker than just running around trying to find those credit spawns. So that is a great one to try to go for. And then Velocite helps a ton because it spawns mobs and you're able to kill them. So basically whenever you're killing those mobs, you're getting more credits, and then when you complete the contract, you get a bit of credits along with it. So you basically get more credits than if you were to go and do like some power-up facility and you don't kill the cobots, because if you kill the cobots, then you're getting credits. So it's just like, it's one of those things that you want to get double the credits as quickly as possible, so you want to go for the contracts that help you do that. So now at this point of the game, you're going to want to rotate to high VP contracts such as uplink or drill. This is just because these are how you get high VP matches, and you want to get as many VPs as possible so you have the best chance of winning. Because if you can get a 600 VP game in duos, that's pretty hard to beat with most of the players, so it should solidify a win. So if you're just going for the highest VP contracts, you're gonna get the most VPs, making it harder for anyone else to beat you. And while you're rotating, be sure to grab the passive contracts along the way. Some of the passive contracts that I'm talking about are Zeal and Ledium. Zeal is a crystal that you're gonna carry along with you, and Ledium, you just hold F on these drills and they will pop up, and then they're going to give you passive VPs while you go and complete the high VP contracts such as drill. Uplink is another passive contract. You just have to capture it once, and then as long as nobody else interferes, you're going to be getting the VPs until it switches, because there's 3 spots. You have to be sure to know whenever it switches to head over to that next location. And the reason why I say to rotate now is just because the map size is so large. So if you can hold those high VP contracts, it's going to be even harder for teams to come and contest you because of the huge map size. So be sure that you're rotating early so that you can get all of the VPs possible from the highest VP contracts. And like I said, those are uplink and drill. So our next tip that we have is, if you get there early, do contracts in the general area. These are Hunt, Bright Caps, Velocite, and Ledium, because as I said, for Velocite and Ledium, well, for Velocite, it's for the credits. Ledium, it's passive, so while you're doing those other things, you're getting VPs, and it's going to help you out. Get that VP up a ton. And then Bright Caps, it's just easy to collect these. You can turn them in whenever, but be sure to not lose too much health, or else you're going to drop them, so just be aware for that. And then Hunt, it's a great contract to try to complete because you will also be able to get a good amount of credits. It's not as much as Veltite I've seen, but you also get VPs for it, so it's great to do. And then once the contract for the high VP comes, so for example, let's just use drill. Once the drill comes, you can have someone just solo it at the start, because at the start it's going to be easier, but then as time goes on, harder mobs are going to start showing up, and they're going to try to get that drill to get destroyed. But just keep your comms clear whenever doing this, just in case the one person soloing it needs help. So let's say that a team's pushing them while they're trying to hold this drill. What I would personally do is run up to the top and just kind of peek where they're going to try to steal the drill, because hopefully they'll only send one person up and you can try to pick them off and deal a ton of damage, possibly get the knock, and then deal with the next person. But just be sure to keep comms clear so that you can easily call them over and you guys can communicate and just tell each other what's happening, because that's such a huge thing in the cycle. Like, you want to just be able to have one person go off and do their own thing, the other person do their other thing, and both survive, because you don't want to be losing that triage. You guys want to somewhat stay together if you can't do this, but as long as one person can solo the drill, you're good to go off. Just don't go too far. Then the other thing that I wanted to say was check your map and see where contracts are building up. So whenever you have a contract like the drill, everyone pushes towards that location because they know that the drill is such a great contract to do that they're all going to rotate. So let's say that the drill's in the top left-hand side of the map. Generally, you're going to see a ton of contracts building up at that bottom right-hand side of the map because everybody's rotating away from them and going to the drill. So you just want to be sure that you're keeping this in mind. And then as long as one person is holding the drill, the other teammate can go and try to get to those other contracts, or you guys can wait for the drill to finish and then head over there. I would really suggest purchasing a vehicle at this point to get there as soon as possible, because if you can see those contracts piling up, you want to be the first one to get there, because you can get a ton of VPs this way, just completing all the contracts at once. So head to this area after the large contract is finishing up. Also, just keep in mind that you're going to want to upgrade your loadout while you go, because you don't want to be sitting with over 1,000 credits without doing anything. So what I would suggest is just upgrading your loadout, upgrade your main weapon, purchase some abilities if you haven't already. We actually have a video going over the best loadout in the cycle and how you should be spending your credits. So I'm going to link that in the top right hand corner of the screen right now. So be sure to go check that out once you're finished with this video. And then a huge part of season 2 winning and strategy is the cycle spike. If the cycle spike shows up, you need to go there. I cannot stress this enough. Go to cycle spike, get the VPs from it. If it's just one person, that's not too great, but it is better than not having anyone. But if you can send 2 people to cycle spike and dominate it, you are going to be so good and set for winning the match, because you can get so many VPs here. It can really turn a bad game into a great game. It can widen the margin of VPs so much. You don't want to have one team controlling it all to themselves, or you want to be that one team controlling it all to yourselves, because if you can control all of cycle spike, I'm telling you, you will win most of your matches as long as you're doing things other than cycle spike. Like before cycle spike, if you're still doing contracts, I'm pretty sure you can win with cycle spike. But once this is finished, just be sure to pick up all the zeals or bright caps that were dropped, because as the lightning hits, you're going to be dropping zeals, dropping bright caps. So after cycle spike finishes, or right before it finishes, while everybody else is cramming for that last contract, you might want to go and start picking up the zeals, the bright caps, and going and turning those in, because you can get a huge VP reward from it. Also, check the foam bodies for upgraded loot. Not a ton of people know this, but once somebody gets foamed, they drop their loot and their loadout. So you can go and try to get some upgraded loot. And I don't see a ton of people checking bodies. And it's kind of weird because I don't do that myself, but just thinking about it, like, that's so smart to do. And that's one thing that I've really been trying to do to improve my game. Just thinking while I play, because I feel like if I can think, I'm such a great player. But it's when, like, I just start playing and I get out of the thinking stage and I just start acting like, oh, he just stole my zeal, I'm gonna go hunt him down now. That's when I start to die. So be sure that you're thinking no matter what. Okay, so our next tip that we have is heading to evac early and getting set up. If you have turrets, this is a great tip to do because all you have to do, get level 3 turrets, upgrade it all the way, and place them all at evac. This way, not many people will be able to get out because they might be trying to fight you. Because they're going to see those bullets coming in from the turret and they're going to try to fight that. And then you can go from the other side, spray them down, and hopefully knock them before they're able to evac. It will also give you 50 VPs because you're going to be able to clear all of evac if you get there early enough. It is crucial that you do not get knocked at this point in the match though, because map 2 is way too large to head back in time. You have to realize what point you're able to get there because vehicles, you can get there a bit faster than just running. So I would definitely suggest testing that out, going from the edge of the map all the way to the evac zone just to see how much time that takes. And at this point, I would try to analyze the leaderboard and see if there's anything you need to do in order to win. If it's a close game, you probably want to try to get a few more contracts done. So maybe just send one person to evac and have another person continue doing contracts. And clear all of evac if it's needed. If you don't need to clear evac, then you can focus on PvP if you would like. Just be sure that you're not getting knocked, like I said earlier, because you cannot get knocked. I cannot stress it enough. Do not get knocked at this point in the match. So focus on PvP if you don't have enough VPs in order to beat a team. If there's one team that's so far above, which it shouldn't be that case if you're listening to my tips, but let's say you just got into this god lobby, like everybody's just getting so many VPs, you're gonna have to fight your way for first place. You're gonna have to find where that first place team is, set up from what direction you think they're gonna be coming from, and you cannot let them evac, because if you can foam them, then you're gonna be in such a great position to win, because you'll be able to jump up that leaderboard because they're not able to solidify their win. So be sure that you're thinking, analyzing that leaderboard, and it will help you win way more games that way. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope it did give you a ton of tips to hopefully improve your cycle gameplay. And hopefully this leads to you getting your first win if you haven't already, or winning even more percentage of your games. That is going to wrap it up though. If it did help you out, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on, because we are trying to get to 2,000 subs. That would be crazy. I'm trying to record more content because I am stuck inside. But that's it for today's video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.